Hi there folks, Riyadh here from tabletopminis.com and welcome to another episode of Questions and Answers. So in this show we just basically take questions from yourselves in the comments of the previous episode and I try and answer them, and then afterwards we usually just give you an update on the channel and how things have been going. So I'm just going to go through last week's questions. It's probably going to be quite a short episode this week because there's not too many questions here, but that's fine. And then if you can just leave your comments below for next week's, that would be great. So let's have a look what we've got here. There's actually not so many comments, so we can kind of run through all of them quite quickly. Buryak Beats is saying, hey fellas, just a tip for getting more variety in your 30k games. I've seen on another channel that they're integrating Xenos races into it. I've seen Eldar, Orcs and Necrons. It would make sense fluff-wise to be able to play them. Not so much Necrons, but you can bullshit a story for that. But I'm not sure what they did rules-wise to fit them in. I know they did mention rules changes, but I can't remember where they got it. Just a recommendation for you guys. So that's in answer to, we were talking about how to make our 30k games more, put more variety into them, because we've just got Salamanders and World Eaters and no real plans to buy loads more Legions. Yeah, that's a good idea. We have an Eldar army, so we could definitely do that. Orcs and Necrons we don't have, but I'm getting an itch to start a 40k Orcs army, so yeah, that would be quite cool. I think it would be quite interesting as well, just for some variety, so that's definitely something we probably will do in the future. Next we have Vincent. He's asking, almost got my last name right, thanks for the answers, and if possible to attend, let me know. That's for this Warhammer Empire meet in Belgium, I think it is. Tactics and painting videos would be good, but maybe do them per topic on a request base for the viewers, ? So I think last week we were talking about, is it too much putting out, we talked over this sort of schedule of 6-7 videos a week as a minimum framework, and included in that lots of tactics and painting videos and army overviews and stuff like that. And he's saying there, but maybe do them per topic on a request based by the viewers. So I guess we're kind of experimenting now with doing these painting videos and the tactics videos and overviews and just doing a lot of other stuff in the channel. It does take some time to do the other videos though, and I'm not sure whether they're quite as popular as the battle report. So maybe that's a good idea to kind of do things on a more of a request basis, and then maybe we'll kind of do more occasional tactics and painting and stuff like that rather than regular. But it was the first week trying the schedule, and I think that's something that we probably more likely to do is actually go to either request, do some form of request system where you guys just tell us what you'd like us to make, and if we can, we'll do it. Otherwise, yeah, I think it's been fun doing all these other videos, but it's kind of took quite a lot of time, and we haven't really, I think we've slowed down on the battle reports a little bit because of making the other videos, and not just that, over the last week we've had some like being sick a little bit and some other things, so we haven't quite made the battle reports that we were hoping, but yeah, we'll get to that at the end, I guess. Next Rapkis in, what was this about a Belgium ghetto getter? Yeah, that's just this Warhammer Empire meet in Belgium. I'm not sure if it's open to everybody, but I think Vincent had a link in one of the previous Q&As. Okay, so next we have Zachary Lorenzini. I was so happy when you started talking about brush care. I'd always wondered about what was proper and definitely noticed some things that were good and bad on my own, but never got around to researching it. Thanks. I have a question about Patreon. Do they charge Tabletop Minis any sort of fee per transaction? I was thinking about starting to support, and I would prefer to set up a small amount over lots of videos to encourage you to always make more. But if that would incur more fees, I have no problem setting up so that the first video reaches my monthly cap. Well, thanks, Zachary, and all the support that we get is much appreciated and much needed. And in answer to your question, they take a flat 5% off whatever Patreon is at the end of the month. So it doesn't matter whether it's per video, you do it in small amounts with a cap. Like say you did $1 per video and you set your cap to $10 or $20 or something. or if you just set it to one battle report where you're pledging 10 or 20 or something, and then you put your cap to that, there's no difference there in terms of what they take from it. And then on top of that, there's some PayPal fees and other things. So it really, it doesn't matter too much. I would say probably do it a small amount and then with a cap, so that, you know, it does encourage us to do more videos. But on top of that as well, it means that when people look at our Patreon, they don't get a kind of a false impression of how much support we get, because, you know, there is quite a few people that they set, for example, their pledge to $10, but they set their monthly cap to $10. So for the first video we do in the month, we get $10. But then every video after that we get nothing. But then when other people look at our Patreon, they might think, well, they're getting quite a lot already. And in actual fact, when you look at the Patreon, it's like you know, the value that you have there is for the first video, and then it drops off like pretty much like this. And you know, after the first couple of videos, it's actually quite low, the amount, because so many people have their caps set after, you know, their pledge levels almost the same as their cap. There's a few people that aren't, but generally speaking, you know, I think after about 3 videos, you know, we get kind of 20% off what that pledge level. So it's up to yourself really. But I think maybe doing it in small amounts would probably be better, because we're going to put out a lot of content anyway. So, you know, I think you know, it doesn't really make any difference to us, but it makes the Patreon look more, you know, realistic, or more you know, close to what we're actually kind of getting. Next we have, let's see, E-Tron is saying, a fellow Blood Angel, mine are also 40k. I'm doing word bearers for 30k, and yes, I would use Sanguinius as the Sanguinor, as I'm not a fan of the model. What are your thoughts on the older Blood Angels models? Keep up the great work, and I'm looking forward to seeing your legions grow. Also, you've done a bang up job on the salamanders. That's just how I see their scheme in my head. Thanks very much, E-Tron. I actually checked out your channel. I like your stuff, man. The older Blood Angel models, I guess I'm quite a fan. I mean, a lot of them are the same. I guess they've moved from metal to, you know, to resin. But I'm just trying to think here, because, you know, the older sculpts, Mephiston, Dante, and stuff like that are the same, aren't they? There's just, I guess I can't really think of anything that's really changed too much from the older sculpts. So yeah, I am a fan. I'm a fan of the old and new, I guess. I've not seen any of the Blood Angels models that I don't like, or really, other than 1 or 2. I think the new Chaplain, he's quite expensive, and his model is not that great. But yeah, I think the old and new ones are good. And thanks for the compliment on the salamanders. I was trying out something new there, and I'm quite happy with the results. Okay, next we have, let's see, Ethan Watt. He's asking, hey, Tabletop Minis, love your content, keep it up. Thank you. I was wondering if you know anything about the new Chaos Marine Codex for 40k. There have been some rumors floating around for over the last few months, but I haven't been able to find anything more on it, thanks. And here's a link to a Bell of Lost Souls article. I don't really know much more than what's going around on the rumor mill, and you know, there's lots of talk of an imminent Chaos Space Marine Codex, and they surely do need it. But I don't really know anything more than you guys, I guess, on that front. So I think it's probably, I'd like to think it's one of the next ones they're going to hit, but you know, I don't have any substance to that release, so can't really add much. David Smith is saying, I just checked my Amazon order for the Series 7 and they now say they don't ship to the UK, so I had to cancel. So that was in reference to the great deal that was posted on Fate 212 and some other websites about buying these Winsor & Newton Series 7 sets for, like, I think something like $20 or less, whereas, you know, in the UK they cost about £35. That's how much I paid for this one. I think it was £35 or £40 for 4 brushes. So I guess maybe there was something up with that Amazon. Maybe it was a typo. Maybe they got so much interest from it. They, you know, who knows. Okay, next on to Jay Rutley. What are your thoughts on all the terrain in Age of Sigmar giving off some special aura, such as Mystic or what have you? It sometimes seems to me that the terrain has been kind of downgraded to almost having no effect on many battles, and these auras were added to give them something obvious. Or do you think that it makes terrain more engaging than just being a normal fence or something? Also, I think you'd probably be fine with putting up 6 vids a week, 1 each day, nothing on Sunday. Got to give people some downtime, like you said. When you have less time for your hobby, it makes you appreciate it more. So, in answer to your question on the terrain, I quite like having, special rules on terrain. But I found in the games that, a lot of it's redundant because you've only got forces scattered in certain areas of the field. A lot of the terrain pieces that you roll for, you don't end up using the effects of the terrain. And we've certainly found that even when you put tokens next to the terrain, you still sometimes forget about the buffs, because the only one that really does anything dramatic is the mystical terrain, where you roll on a 1, the unit can't do anything for the turn, which is huge, and on a 2+, they get ensorcelled, so they can reroll to wound, which is really good. But all the others, Sinister, Arcane, we haven't really been playing too much with wizards, so, and when I do, it's Teclis, who kind of, he pretty much casts everything anyway without any problem. You've got to be quite unlucky not to cast with him. I do like the idea. I'm not sure if the implementation was the best, but I don't know if, do you mean by this that they've simplified the terrain, or do you mean that you think that it's too much additional things going on in the game? I like the idea that terrain has an impact on the game, so things like your saving throws being affected, line of sight being affected, movement impediments, the stuff like that, although I'm not sure if Age of Sigmar has done it in the best way, but I think we still roll for our scenery, but I think Mystical is the only one that we really pay that much attention to. A lot of the time we forget about the other ones, and we don't seem to be that bothered by it. And Wezadi 1969 says, with the announcement of Warhammer Fest in May, will you be coming over for it? I imagine it wouldn't be easy with living in France. Warhammer Fest, it's in the Ricoh Stadium near Birmingham in May, and I'd love to go to it. It's a Saturday and Sunday. On the Saturday, I think they've got some seminars and some other things, and then there's Golden Demon on Sunday. And I've never actually been to any of these conventions. I'm kind of an at-home gamer, or local game store or gaming club type gamer. I've not really done much traveling to events or anything like that, but I would love to enter Golden Demon. I'm not saying that I'm an amazing painter and I think I could win Golden Demon, but I'd love as a goal to make the goal winning a Golden Demon and just taking part in it. I think I'd love to participate in. This year, I'm not sure. Like, there's so many things that are in the air right now with the channel and my job and being here in France and possibly being back in the UK. So if I was in the UK, it'd be much easier to go and see, for sure. But who knows? It's too far off, I guess. Like, my life's in a bit of turmoil at the moment, so I'm not sure whether we could. But I would definitely make the effort to if it's possible, to do that. I'm from Scotland. I've spent most of my life in the UK, and the UK is actually where I usually am. It's actually quite abnormal for me being here in France. So it's certainly not impossible. I've got brothers and stuff that work all over the UK, and it wouldn't be that difficult to do, really. So I'd like to think about it, yeah, for sure. Thanks for bringing it up, actually, because I wasn't aware of it before you mentioned this, and then I searched for it and seen it was actually in May, and then I was reading through the Golden Demon and all that stuff, and I'm thinking, man, that'd be really cool. What if I plan to enter Golden Demon this year and pick some models and make a go of it, just for fun? And I'm not sure. I guess there'll be more on that as we get closer to. We've still got a couple of months, so that's cool. And lastly, I guess there, Joseph Nielsen, just a quick note, the Chaos Grand Alliance book removed all but 2 of the silly rules from the models in it. The 13 result in the Screaming Bell, which is largely just flavor, and the Great Unclean one, which seems more of an oversight than that it's there still. Okay, so I guess that's in reference to some of these silly rules that Age of Sigmar War Scrolls have been coming out with. And it seems that they've removed some of them, which I think is a really good thing. And that brings us to the end of the questions. I think this is actually the quickest questions and answers that I've ever done, because there really wasn't too many questions there to answer. So please, guys, give any questions you have, stick them in the comments, and then I can get to them next week. It gives us more content to talk about. So lastly, I guess we'll just do a channel update from us. So since we spoke to you in the last Q&A, we've been continuing as planned, I guess. We've been doing some other videos, like paint-in videos, tactics videos. We have missed a couple of the battle reports that we hoped to do, but this week's been a bit difficult. Like, people have been sick, and they're in my house have been sick, and I've been kind of sidetracked a bit. So I've done some other things. Painted some other things, not done too much battle reporting. I've actually been reading a lot in my spare time. It was my birthday about a week ago, and my wife got me this book, which is the Silmarillion by Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien, and I've been loving reading through this. I think this is one of my favorite books ever now. I've still got 2 chapters left to do, but it's basically like the precursor to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And when I read The Lord of the Rings back when I was, I don't know, it must have been maybe 10 years old, something like that. And I loved it. This was way before the films and everything else. And I love Tolkien's world. I love everything about The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And I wasn't actually really that aware of this book, but I was thinking about doing some videos and a while ago, like a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things I wanted to kind of look at and maybe do a video on is the history of the elves. And just delving into that, I kind of came across the Silmarillion, and I can't believe that I didn't know about this book previously. Although I have been a massive fan of Tolkien's work, I wasn't like it was just reading The Lord of the Rings when I was younger, so and loving that world, and then Warhammer and stuff. So this has been like total gold. Like going through this book, I just love his writing, and this is the whole history. For those of you that don't know, the Silmarillion is what J.R.R. Tolkien spent most of his time producing and thinking about and creating, and the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were like an offshoot from that. So I might actually do a video on this, because it's such a good read, and there's so much to talk about in this. But I've been getting my head stuck in that for the last few days, so that's been a lot of fun. I guess that's pretty much it. Like our schedule that we had planned last week, it hasn't quite worked out, because we haven't been able to do so many battle reports. But we do hope to continue making lots of battle reports and these other videos, but I'm not sure how we're going to time it. Like, having a fixed schedule is probably quite difficult for us. So I think we might go to a more kind of relaxed schedule, where we're just putting out things as we create them. And I think with the Sunday special battle reports, which is for our Patreon supporters, I think we'll just call them bonus battle reports, and we'll put them out whenever we've got enough content. We just put them out on top of the other content that we have. So if we go through a quiet patch, then we'll put content out on the channel, and then if we can make lots of content, then we'll put content bonus battle reports and stuff up as well. So lots of cool stuff coming, and we've been really enjoying trying out doing some other things, the painting vids, tactic vids, and other stuff. So that's pretty much it for this week. If you guys have any comments or questions for next week, please put them below, and we'll get to them next week. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.